Dragon Age Absolution, which launched on Netflix on December 9th, 2022, left us fans with a lot of unresolved questions and mysteries to investigate. For those who are brand new to the Dragon Age franchise or are a longtime veteran, welcome, because there is a lot of lore and secrets that are explained here in this show. And because Dragon Age Absolution is situated in a video game world, much of the narrative has already been built up and established from the previous games, comics, and even the Dragon Age books. So let us begin. And as always, this will include major spoilers from the Netflix show, so I strongly advise you to watch it as it is quite short for a Netflix series. Absolution is a 6-episode show, with each episode lasting roughly around 23 minutes. If some of you aren't too interested in Netflix shows like I am, then a review is tagged at the end for your convenience. Regardless, let's discover 5 secrets we learned in Dragon Age Absolution. The Inquisition is disbanded. Hera and Fairbanks, who are known secret members of the Inquisition, state that before the Inquisition ended, they gave Fairbanks and Hera one last mission before they broke up: to steal an artifact powered by blood magic known as the Circulum Infinitus. This makes a lot of fans conclude that the Inquisition is currently disbanded and selects agents to perform certain tasks to withhold any Inquisition enemy. Miriam, the elven rogue, even states that the Herald of Andraste sealed the breach and killed Corypheus. So, as this subject entails, the timeline of Absolution definitely seems to take place after Trespasser, where the Inquisition, the protagonist of Dragon Age Inquisition, is left with a choice of either disbanding the Inquisition or keeping it and serving the Divine Victoria's special forces. So it looks like there is now a default world state Bioware is sticking to for this plot. And now that we know Inquisition is at least disbanded in this Dragon Age Netflix show, there is also, of course, a lot of Inquisition references in later episodes, such as stating giving the artifact to Skyhold, and even showing Cassandra, Liliana, and if you squint, you can even see Josie and Cullen sneaked in on there. Regardless, there is a lot of Inquisition references within the show, and it had many fans excited to see Inquisition still in full works, and Bioware's world state finally being confirmed within the show. The Circulum Infinitus' origin. The Circulum Infinitus is an item that uses blood magic to bring the dead back to life. It is required by several organizations throughout the show, but the mystery revealed by the spirit known as Memory piqued viewers' interest in this relic. Memory, the wisdom spirit, states that the Circulum Infinitus was the last and greatest work of Magister Amelia Pavis. The last name Pavis belongs to another mage who we know from Dragon Age Inquisition as Dorian, who is also from House Pavis. It is quite strange but not surprising, knowing that House Pavis was involved with creating this artifact. And even Magister Amasine, the mage who was assigned to research on this artifact, states that this artifact was crafted here in the Summer Palace, which we find out later is also part of an old god temple. However, the artifact was lost in the scuffle of politics and even history. The memory spirit also states that it hasn't ever been used by anyone as well. Should the Circulum go to the one who seeks it, all of Tevinter will burn. And as far as what we know from House Pavis, it seems to be very little. We know that Dorian's father was also part of the Magisters of the Tevinter Imperium, and even after the Trespasser DLC from Inquisition, Dorian is now part of the Magisterium and has a group called Lucerni, a faction within the Magisterium whose primary goal is to redeem and restore Tevinter. So perhaps Amelia Pavis is an ancestor to Dorian, and whether her life was involved with either the old god religion or even the Imperial Chantry will be left to find out, or even be a mystery until Dragon Age Dreadwolf. The Summer Palace origin. The city of Nessum holds the Summer Palace, an old castle dedicated to all the Black Divines of the Tevinter Imperial Chantry. Miriam, the main protagonist, explains that it is 3 structures that are tied together. The cathedral is at the top, below is a maze of secret smuggler passages some old divines used to use, and lastly, all of the structure is built on top of an old sealed temple dedicated to the old religion the Tevinter Magisters used to believe in, the old gods. In episode 2, Knight Commander Tassia explains that this place also had slave corpses, Marconius IV, built into the walls of this palace. It also shows some Imperial Chantry knowledge. Tassia quickly explains in some episodes that the Divine built the vault where the Circulum was hiding to be the last resort if a coup ever happened. Also, according to Fairbanks in episode 1, while getting into the palace, Nessum is at the end of a pilgrimage route created by Divine Adnias. Chronologically, we can't say where all of these divines line up in the lore, since we only really learn of the first black divine known as Valhalla, and even the most recent divine from 927 Dragon being known as Urian from World of Thetis Volume 1s and even 2. So there is a lot of Easter eggs within this palace, including the dragon that was sealed below the vault, and it's all pretty interesting to learn a little more about the history of the Black Divines, the Imperial Chantry, and even origin of this location in the city of Nessum. The Venatori's influence. The Venatori are an armed cult of Tevinter nationalist supremacists working to sow chaos in other nations across Thetis in order to further their machinations of their enigmatic deity, the Elder One, whom they believe will restore Tevinter's glory. The Tevinter Imperium does not officially sanction them in any way. However, in this show, it seems like the Venatori do have a large influence, more than we expected in the Tevinter Imperium. Of course, it's not too surprising since even in the Dragon Age comic, Archon Radonus even recognizes their threat to the Imperium and tries to get 4 senior Venatori members even killed. One of them even included Calpurnia, who we know can work closely with the Elder One if we sided with the Templars from Inquisition. And even in Tevinter Nights, it's hinted that the Venatori are still in the works within the walls of Minrathous. However, according to episode 5 of Dragon Age Absolution, the Venatori continue to wield more power than what we anticipated. Hera is revealed to be a mage of a deceased, old, powerful family from the northern part of Tevinter. Her family began assisting the people of Tevinter, specifically slaves, during her childhood, which enraged the Venatori. Hera's father was burned alive in their front yard by the Venatori as an example of her family's disobedience to the Tevinter traditions. Since Hera is shown to be a child during her father's death at the hands of the Venatori, it appears that the Venatori are ingrained in Tevinter tradition and have been around longer than Corypheus' reign at the end of Dragon Age 2 and even after Inquisition. I'm not really sure, but it kind of seems to imply that they are more powerful in the Imperium and that they have been upholding Tevinter's traditions throughout the years. But in any case, the Venatori are a major plot point in a lot of the extra content like the comics, books, and now this Netflix show, which might intend that BioWare will show them in Dragon Age Dreadwolf. Knight Commander Meredith. Some Dragon Age fans who haven't seen Absolution will be very surprised by this. Hera, who intended to portray the Inquisition, was going to give the artifact to the Crimson Knight at the end of episode 6, the show's final episode. The Crimson Knight is known to be revealed as Knight Commander Meredith from Dragon Age 2. She is crystallized in red Illyrium, with the Red Templars guarding and telling her that Hera is arriving to Kirkwall to give her the artifact. To be honest, can Hawk actually start finishing their kills now? No, seriously. Knight Commander Meredith seems to be back and is using her power, I'm assuming, from the Red Lyrium idol. Or perhaps she is stuck in that body and the veil is even thin enough in Kirkwall for her to possess it until someone can revive her through the artifact. We can tell she moved based on what we see in just a few seconds, and we know she moves a lot from what we find out in Inquisition. Years after the Kirkwall incident, Meredith's body is said to be at the gallows. Because it is still contaminated with Red Lyrium, no one wanted to go near it, and even Meredith's petrified remains appear to have been relocated to a shelf in the Black Emporium, although some fans just consider this not even really her. However, in the Trespasser DLC, a codex explains a spontaneous parade was held by the Kirkwall City Guard to commemorate the removal of Meredith's body from the gallows. Several Lowtown residents spontaneously composed a song with the lyrics, "Thank the Maker, the crazy cursed Templar is gone," which was remarkably catchy. But now in this show, Meredith is revealed to be alive and has taken the moniker the Crimson Knight. She is now housed in the chamber in Kirkwall manned by the Red Templars. It's honestly just as shocking to many fans, and even I'm kind of annoyed that she's back. But it does give a crazy amount of anticipation for the next season of this Netflix show, if it ever happens. But with that, we are going to wrap up. Hold on a second, I promised to give you guys a review. To be honest, if some viewers skip to the end, I'll just say this. The show will most likely be used by BioWare to prepare the plot for Dragon Age Dreadwolf. It was embarrassingly short for just 6 episodes, and I really wanted to see more. The character development was very quick for a 6-episode show, and even I was surprised at the change and growth for some of these characters. But I'm also thinking that it's because it was so short, it makes me suspect that there was a limited budget BioWare had to work with for a Netflix show. And as a longtime Dragon Age fan, I can tell you that this is not not for everyone. But I went in with no expectations, and I was pleasantly pleased. It would be nice to hear Netflix give them another season, hoping that it should be announced pretty soon for us to gain more attention for the franchise, but that will really be up to them and BioWare at this point. What do you all think of this Netflix show? Did you enjoy it, or do you wish that there was more episodes? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you don't comment, I will revive some character we truly thought was dead back to life. Wait, I'm not a BioWare writer. Shit. As I was saying, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.